Welcome everybody. It is Tuesday's MUTV group chat. Two great guests today. Very busy show, and of course the lads are here as well. Maisie, Wes, Danny, and the birthday boy, Ben Thornley, having a birthday in lockdown. Happy birthday, mate. How are you celebrating?
Not well. Not ideal, obviously, but yeah, another year older.
Is that
How
it?
old's that, Ben?
45, mate.
Oh, I thought you was going to say, I thought you was closer to 50, mate.
Thanks very much, Wes.
Stone.
Wes, to be fair, I am closer to 50 now.
That's true, completely true, yeah.
That's the best I can do, mate. That's the best I can do. Sorry. So
Hey,
that's it.
Stu,
That's the best I can do. Just happens out of
that would be me.
Yes. Well, listen, before we bring our guests, we must first of all mention yesterday's show and some of the reaction, and also news of a celebrity endorsement for this programme. Game of Thrones actor John Bradley West saying, "Loving the group chat, lads. Cheers for the laughs." And he's agreed to come on the show next week. So John Bradley West, he's watching. Thanks very much for that. Appreciate that, mate. A couple of comments rather on YouTube, which again, a little bit hit and miss. But this one says, from Easy, he says, "I'm surprised that Wes can really talk, laugh, and all of that. He was one of my favourite players during his days at United, but I can't remember ever seeing him talk." Wow. So there you go.
I was working.
You impressed somebody, Wes, by just talking.
You were working. What does he want from me?
Made up for it now.
Yes. Nick Newman saying, "I want a Cooking with Odeon show. Manchester United striker, fan favourite Odion Igalo shows you some of his favourite recipes from his native Nigeria. I hereby claim that idea as my intellectual property." We're going to accept anything over the course of the next few weeks. So yeah, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. John O'Reilly, this is aimed at you, Wes. It just says, "That hair." You must have had a reaction to it.
I've not been anywhere. I don't know. I've not looked at anything, Stu.
And finally, this one, David May is a madman, and that's all it says. Can anybody really disagree with that?
This is it, Stu. This is what happens when you're cooked up at home. Silly things. Just small things amuse me. Like Ben.
I think it's harsh.
Maybe not
Harsh.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to change that quick, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, some of the pictures sent to Ben on our WhatsApp group, thankfully not for broadcast on this programme, and all from Maisie, as you can probably imagine. There you go. Right, we're going to bring on two guests today. First is one of United's most decorated players, 7 Premier League titles, more than 500 appearances, treble winner. The great Denis Irwin joins us. Den, how are you, mate?
Morning, everyone.
Morning, Dan.
Yeah, doing
Morning,
all right.
Dennis.
You're growing a
Doing
lot
what
down
everybody else
beard.
is. Yeah, it's just been laziness, to be honest, and a little trim as well. But just doing what everybody else is doing and try to keep yourself occupied, I suppose.
And our second guest is actually not one of United's most decorated players, but from the hugely successful band Mumford & Sons, Winston. Winston Marshall's with us, big United fan. How you doing, pal?
How are we? Thanks for having me on.
I'm good, mate.
Thanks for
Winston,
coming.
right, mate.
How are you surviving at the moment? How are you coping?
I'm doing all right, thanks. In quarantine in London, and weather's been pretty nice, which has been one good thing at least. But keeping sane, getting out there, trying to volunteer every day, which has been good for my head, and otherwise doing lots of reading and things that I guess I never had time to do before.
What have you been doing volunteer-wise then? You said volunteering every day.
So it's all pretty menial, but I guess that's what that's the work that is needed right now. But there's a food bank near me that is kind of overloaded. It's hard at the best of times, and they're overloaded, and rather they're struggling with supply and stuff. And then there's another organisation called Love Your Neighbour, which is on the other side of London, delivering hot food to hospitals and vulnerable people. But menial as it is, I've had some unbelievable moments. I was cycling because no one's allowed, well, supposedly not allowed a mile from your home. But because I'm doing this, I get to cycle over London. I was in Piccadilly Circus. I was the only one there in the middle of the day. Unbelievable. Just something that absolutely once in a lifetime. I mean, not even once in a lifetime, once in anyone's lifetime. It's unbelievable. So, dark as these times are, there are these little moments that are just mind-blowing.
Yeah. Not going to get involved with a charity record. You're not on the You'll Never Walk Alone one, thankfully, are you?
We need to do a Glory, Glory, Man United. All these songs, all these covers of these Liverpool tunes. What's going on?
You need to have a word with your mate.
Yeah, Marcus did one as well. My bandmate did another cover of You'll Never Walk Alone. Yeah, it's great. It's for all these wonderful charities. But why that song? Anyway.
Maybe we'll accept it for now. I don't know. It's difficult with it as well. Then I think ideal for you to be on here today, because I've just noticed that 21 years ago today, Juventus 2, United 3 in the treble season. Some people think that's probably just about the best Manchester United performance of all time. First of all, 21 years ago today. Can you believe it's 21 years ago today? Does it feel like it?
I feel like I've aged. I know that, as you can tell, before Maisie says anything. No, it was an unbelievable performance, Stu. Considering we went 2 down as well in the first 10, to come back against an Italian side and to go there and score 3 goals in the first place, because they were so good defensively back in the day. It was an incredible performance. It really was.
What's the main thing that stands out from that night? Because that is a really great Juventus side, and no one ever comes back from 2 down in Turin.
I just thought what stands out most is when Yorkie went around the keeper and the referee was deciding whether to give a pen or not. I think I would have been up to take that pen. So that would have been nervous times, but I'm so grateful that Coley managed to squeeze it in from a tight angle. And they weren't coming back from that because of the away goal rule. So, I mean, it was a fantastic performance by everybody on the night. Unfortunately, Roy and Scholesy got booked, as we know, our 2 best players missing the final. But, they dug deep and was very much a team performance.
Was that the best performance you've been involved with? I mean, a lot of people talk about it, when you look at the circumstances, the quality of the opposition. Have you been involved in a better performance than that?
Probably not, because I think the first thing is it's away from home. So it's always more difficult away from home. Second, it's a semi-final against an Italian side that had some fantastic players. You look at the midfield area of Deschamps, Zidane. It really was a quality side. David's in there as well. And Italian sides back then, you had to win. You had to beat an Italian side to win the Champions League. We were fortunate enough to beat Inter Milan in the quarter-final, but the great Juventus away from home in their old stadium, Del Appi, big, massive stadium. It was just a tremendous performance, taking away the first 10 minutes. It really was. There was always goals in this. Maisie and Wes were obviously involved in that time as well. There was goals within the team. We always knew we could score goals, but just go over there and score 3 was phenomenal, really.
Yeah, Maisie, Wes, you obviously were in or around the side.
I was on the bench. Brilliant, unbelievable. I think it just goes to show as well what a player Keane was and Scholesy was. To have the heartache of knowing that you're going to miss the final if you get through. You talk about Keane, he's probably, there's many games that you can pick Keane out, but that game, knowing that obviously he was going to miss the final, absolutely unbelievable. Instrumental in the lads getting through, really was.
Yeah, Wes, what are your memories back then?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of them games, Stu, where I think if you're ever in trouble or you think you're not good enough to watch that game and understand that it don't matter if you're getting beat, the first 10 minutes, as Denis said, we were struggling. They were, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, mate. Here we go.
Sorry. They were on top. The lads, Keno getting the goals, but the way we performed after that, there was never say die attitude, and that always, when I'm ever struggling, I always think of that game.
Yeah,
when I was playing.
Ben, Dan, I mean, have you, United fans, have you known a better performance than that?
I think that was my first year out of school, so I was a YT. I was cleaning boots and everything then. I just remember that year, like obviously the first team would go about the business and come back, and it was just like an energy and a wave. And for me to soak it up, to see, like, watching the training, we used to sit at the cliff and look down and watch the lads training there, and then we'd get on the minibus and disappear over to Littleton Road, and Neil Bailey would put us through our paces. But it was like an energy and a steeliness that I look back on and think that was great to be part of my learning curve, to be around the lads at that time. So, what a first year to come out of school and to have examples to try and follow.
What about, I mean, you're obviously an incredibly young man, Winston, back then. Very young, 21 years ago. But do you have memories back then?
I remember the game. I actually went to the final, and I remember my family, big United fans. So I probably didn't fully understand how. I think maybe I did, but I could feel the energy in my family, like particularly my dad, like the excitement about that game. I remember there was a series of those sort of 3-2 games against Juve, I remember going to the final, and that was probably still one of the happiest days of my life, even as a kid.
Yeah, unbelievable team, full of unbelievable characters. But then, you obviously were there for so long, from 1990. You played with a couple of great United sides. What was the best team you actually played? Was it 99? A lot of people love 94 team. Was it 99? What was the best team you look back on now and think you played with?
Well, the game was growing bigger in the late 90s, and you needed a bigger squad, Stu, to compete on all fronts. I think if you go back to it's only 5 years previous to that, we didn't have nowhere near as big a squad. We really didn't. And you could probably name the team week in, week out, and we had 2 or 3 substitutes. That's the big difference. The 94 team was physically very, very strong. You look down the middle of it, Brucey and Pally and Big Pete in goal still. Roy in the middle of the park with Incy, with Robbo still there, and Mark Hughes up front, Sparky with Eric. It was a powerful physical side with bags of pace with Sharpie and Andre on the wings, and Sharpie coming in, Chalky, Brian McClare there as well. You could name, the squad was probably 15 or 16 deep, whereas by the time 99 came around, it really was a squad effort. You look at the final itself, with who scored the goals, Ollie and Teddy, both substitutions come on. We probably had a squad of 24, 22, 24. I think that was the big difference. But to choose between the two teams is so hard. I love playing in the 94 side, but and the double we did was fantastic. But what we achieved in 99, it's obviously the best year in the club's history. To be part of that with the squad we had and the camaraderie we had and the energy we had, as Danny said, we had great energy, and we just kept rolling on to the next game. And it was great that we did it at the Cliff as well, and trained at Littleton Road. It's that small little area. It really was.
Most importantly, what was it like having Maisie in the dressing room?
Yeah, Maisie came in, and for the first year he didn't say a word. Can you believe that?
No.
But after that, it's part and parcel of the dressing room. We would tell you that you need somebody like that in the dressing room. You really, really do. Particularly when times are not great, when you lose a couple of games on the spin. It was fantastic. And I used to sit near him, particularly at Carrington. And when Mikel joined, he used to just hammer Mikel every day, honestly. I felt sorry for Mikel, but great character and all that. Ben and Danny would say, it's great to have somebody like that in the dressing room. It really is.
I think, Maisie, you were like the icebreaker when you come in as a kid. And obviously you're dead nervous on your first full time. And you come in and we've all got to sit in front of the first team lads and got up one by one. And that was when my first introduction to you. And I remember thinking, you were dead vocal, got on everybody, about any little detail. And obviously you and Giggsy were the main ones. And we came out of there sweating kind of thing. But yeah, the banter was fun and games. And it was like a couple of day build up. And the lads would be like, I got fun and games. What's fun and games? And it was good banter, to be fair. Brilliant.
Maisie, what was wrong with Mikel?
He got it. Yardy got it. Anyway.
I got it, Stu. Yeah.
Did you?
I've been with him for nearly 3 years. As soon as I went in the first year, I've got it every day.
Characters, Stu. Character building.
Welcome to my world, Wes.
Yeah, Ben's still getting it now.
He deserves to get it.
20 years later.
I'm catching up with the years I missed on him.
I was just wondering, Winston, from a fan's point of view, who were your sort of initial United sort of heroes, if you like, when you were first getting into supporting the club?
It was absolutely Eric Cantona. I was completely obsessed with him. So much so that I shaved my head when he shaved his head. And my shirts were Cantona shirts. I've been thinking about Cantona a lot recently because he's in that Liam Gallagher video. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a great video.
Yeah.
But why it bothers me is that every single Mumford & Sons video meeting, brainstorming that we've ever had since 2007 that I've been involved with, I've said, let's get Eric Cantona to do the video. Every single one. And every time, no. I get vetoed out or outvoted, whatever. And now it's happened with Liam. Can't do it now.
Yeah.
And it's a great video. It could have been our video. Anyway, I'm gutted. I don't know how we feel about it being a City fan. You know, Liam using our Cantona. But I'm still, actually, Cantona was quite big inspiration for me because all his sort of philosophical rantings and stuff. But for like sort of 10-year-old boy to hear that stuff, or it's the first time you hear a philosopher, or if you can call him that, and sort of that spin on things. It probably made me want to pursue my passions. He talked a lot about passion and following, what you love and those things. I can't remember exact quotes, but I'm sure he's talked about that stuff. And that was that stuff like that. I was like, actually, I want to be a musician because Cantona's a football player. It wasn't just on the pitch. It was everything. He was complete, absolutely complete.
So he's inspired you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He's mythical to me still.
Yeah.
Guys, what are you? Well, you know him. You know him, Dan and Maisie. Is he mythical, or is he slightly different to the man you tend to see?
Well, we've just done a podcast with him, and there was still that aura around him when he walked into the room. He was just different class, wasn't it? One, he was an unbelievable footballer, and two, just a great character. Enjoyed the lifestyle that the lads introduced to him, going out for a beer and all that sort of stuff. But first and foremost, he was a phenomenal footballer. But like I said, when we did the podcast 2 or 3 months ago, to see him again was fantastic. And the way he spoke, the depth he goes into his answers is something special. Doesn't just answer like we do, just whatever. He really, really thinks about it, and you think about it and you think, he's took you to somewhere else before you're on to the next question. He's an amazing guy.
Ben, what was he like obviously you were a really young player when he was there. What was he like for you to look up to?
Inspirational. I always remember Sir Alex sort of getting a group of us together when we were in the dressing room and saying, just look at Eric and watch how he prepares for games. He does. I think I'm pretty much right in saying, Dan, that he used to do everything on his own. He used to stretch in the showers. He wasn't very vocal at all before he went out, but he was somebody that the manager always said, you should watch him, and he will give you a path into how you're supposed to be a professional footballer. And when you spoke to him, I didn't get a chance to speak to him very often, but there was a couple of times when I was in a car travelling back with him from the training ground at Littleton Road to the Cliff, and he was an absolute gentleman. And yeah, like Maisie said, a phenomenal footballer that scored many, many great goals and won us many great games.
Yeah, Dan, it's hard to believe you retired at age 30. Isn't it? Extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, it really was a shame because, he was different to what I'd seen before in the English league. He was physically built, which suited him playing in the Premier League, playing for Manchester United. He was able to cope with the physicality, but what a great player. Played in between the lines. We had loads of players that could could run. Giggsy and Sharpie and Andre and Roy just came in, and Incy was there, and Chalky was there. We just needed somebody to knit it together, and he was the man, and he really was. And Ben's right. He trained hugely, much more than anybody else afterwards, and the young lads started looking at that and practicing as well. Well, I suppose one night that nearly probably destroyed him. He actually roomed with Maisie.
That was what tipped him over the edge, then.
Really?
Remember that, Maisie?
Yeah. I just joined the club. And, I think, who did you? Denis was with Keeney, and everyone had their own little room partners and stuff like that. And I get up to the room, get the keys, and we're going down at 7 o'clock for the meal. So we arrive at the hotel about 6:30 on the bus. And as I'm hanging my suit up, Eric walks in, and I'm thinking, what on earth? What do I say? What do I say? Luckily, as I said, it was like just coming up to the meal time. So I'm out of the room and down for the evening meal. And then we come back up, and I'm thinking, I wonder if he watches Brookside or Coronation Street. Yes. Whose line is it anyway? So I just give him the remote and let him crack on with it. Anyway, come 10 o'clock, it turns to me and David, good night. Turns on, go sleep. So I thought, right, I'll turn the television off and let him get his sleep because he's better than me.
There you go. We thought it would be a wild night. No, sleep by 10.
No. Yeah, lights out, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, bang on.
Winston, what do you think of current United? Obviously, when football ended or was suspended, it was going well. I think 11 games unbeaten, going pretty well in all competitions. What do you make of current United under Ollie?
I'm very excited, particularly about Fernandes and Igalo, and I'm very excited for next year.
Listen, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it, Winston.
Thank you so much for having me. What a pleasure.
Great. And thank you, Denis. Good to see you as ever, mate. And lads, have a good day. And Ben, enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Yeah, well, it's fitting actually that Denis comes on today because, as any of the lads will tell you, making your debut for Man United is a special day. And obviously it was Denis who made way for me at Upton Park, so it's a special day for me in more ways than one. Den.
Yeah, I don't think that was as special for Denis as it was for you, but I'm glad.
No, that's very true.
Have a good day. Have a good day. And just a reminder, Lee Sharp is on the show tomorrow. But have a good day, and we'll see you again soon for more of the group chat. Bye for now.